need to get at least 6 minutes in there. You know, because we have 6 minutes. I need to go to 6 once we start.
So the Mikan
So you know how to
George
get back
Mikan,
there.
he was the first guy to shoot over 50%, and simply because he was the first guy who, instead of taking a set shot round the basket, started doing hooks, and everyone came to it, and then Kareem was probably the leader of it. And after Kareem, the game became a lot more physical, and we couldn't go off 1 foot. And we had to be able to power through contact without falling over. So then it became the power Mikan drill came up next. So it's the same drill, but it's far more organized. That's like a warm-up, but this is more what we're going to do in a match. So the power Mikan drill, the key is that you hold the defender off with your inside foot. You've got to plant your inside foot first. If you plant your outside foot first, then your defender is going to push you. You're going to end up shooting over the defender or you're going to push away from the basket. So the key is plant your inside foot first. Then pivot the face to the backboard. You can see it if you want to, but now you're powering up through contact with 2 feet and you're just doing a basic hook with your right hand. So you're going up like that. Oh. So it's inside foot, power up. Inside foot, power up. Okay. Inside foot, power up. Inside foot, power up. Inside foot, power up. Inside foot, power up. Inside foot, face, power up. Inside foot face, power up. See that? Yes. Key is inside foot first, holding off that defender, and then you power up with your outside foot nice and square. That is the power Mikan drill. Yes? Up. Off we go. Inside foot power up. Unlucky, let's go. And again, we show the strength of our players. Unlucky. 1, go back in. And you don't get 6 steps in basketball, so you've got to learn just to collect and go up on pivot, okay? Go left because you've all got 9 minutes. Go left. Inside foot power up. Lovely. Inside foot power up. Lovely. Unlucky, that's it. Go left for me first. Done. Lovely. Shoot your left hand. Right up front. Yeah?
Yeah.
Lovely. Go to the one. Go. Look at that. Go to your left. Hey, let's go. Shoot your left hand. Okay, you got to shoot your left. Go to the back. Inside foot power up. Look, inside foot power up. Oh, that's my hand. Off you go. Power line comes up with the off 2 feet. No, that's off 1 foot. So that's off my hand. Let's shoot on in for 11 feet. More than 1 step again. Power up, lovely. Inside foot power up, lovely. Try not to hold with 1 hand, okay? Because you're not a winner, you're not going to give the ball. 2 hands, power up, yep, get used to that. Unlucky. Let's see you land quickly. You know, respect yourself as you're shooting the ball. Throw the ball out, remember your head's underneath the basket, back here. Inside foot power up, 2 feet. When you start here, you're starting way too far away. Okay? You want off 1 foot again, not the other leg. You're out of that, let's go. You're not going inside foot first. Okay? Inside foot power up. Inside foot power up, lovely. Inside foot power up, lovely. See the right technique there? Help out there, we've got one player here now. Get that number.
So since we moved against the Spanish though?
Obviously, if we have 4 baskets, we would share, but I'm going to show you 6 people, 1 basket for the next one. So, thank you. That's your first 2 drills, we warm up drills to get you going. So, the most common way to sport, particularly if you watch college NCAA, male and female, and if you watch stuff like the Women's World Cup or even the Men's World Cup last year in, it wasn't Japan, or was it China? Fishing, the fishing. When there's a catch inside the key, there is no dribbles because they split and they go somewhere. Okay? So we've already talked about the dance step, so I'm actually going to look at the dance step. We've got another step on what we do today. I'm just going to look at the concept of a split. That actually now you can split, gather step, and take another step in if you want to. But I'm not going to look at that. I'm just going to look at the concept of the split. And what a split is when a defender passes the ball in. What's your name? Gareth? Gareth passes me the ball in. Imagine the defender's coming round trying to steal the ball away from me. I'd be holding that defender off. I have to hold that defender off. But as the ball comes in, I want to get towards the ball, begin to let the ball come in. But by the end of the move, I want to be closer to the basket than that player. So that is called a split. Because after you bounce back in at this angle, for me there, I want to split. I want to get one foot out in front, holding that defender off, and as they reach in, I have now changed my pivot foot to there. Yeah? And I can now pivot and get to the basket without dribbling. So we are moving without dribbling. Okay, we are getting somewhere without dribbling, and we can go up and score. And you can actually now go, because of the gather step, you can now go jump, 1, 2, and up. But we're not even going to do that, I'm just going to pivot. Okay, but you can now buy the rules, and we will send that video on the FIBA video, as I said, on with all the worksheets. Okay, you can actually do loads in the post, so you'll see it in the FIBA video. Okay, so when we're splitting, yeah, we got the foot out. But more importantly, the foot was there, it now gets closer to the basket. So then when I pivot, I'm going up, and I'm going to score. Yeah? So what's going to happen is, there's going to be 2 guys in 3 here, okay? The last person shooting your side, you collect the ball through the rim, you're going to throw it out that way, I want you to split, I want you to get back to the basket and shoot and score. Somebody else will collect it, you will go to the other side, you'll wait for 2 people to shoot,
stuff on the ground, and it drops up and down. Now he's going to select your leg, the black back one becomes the pivot.
You go around on this one. You go forward. Is that it?
One foot to the basket, one foot out to the ball. You're going to pivot 3, and you're going to go up and you're going to score. Yep. So this side is going to be a right hand rail, and this side is going to be a left hand rail up 2 feet. Any questions, coaches, about that? No? Okay, so we have 2 guys in 3 here, quickly. And let's throw the ball at least outside the key. Okay, at least outside the key. Okay, 3 here?
Yeah,
3, yeah, you'll be switching sides. It doesn't matter, you'll be switching sides. So I want you to throw it, the ball's at least going to go beyond the block. Okay, see this thick line? That's the block. The ball's going to go out that far, so you've got to learn to at least pivot that distance. Go! Let's go, baby. Okay, I've never been a challenge. Okay, let's go again. Let's go again. Let's go, baby. Now you're going to get the split back there so you can cover this. Okay, so I need you to split and stretch. Let's go. Girls, go get that rebound. Don't stop you, so as soon as that rebound shot comes up, get the rebound. Why is the ball hit the ground? Get the rebound yourself. And get the rebound. No free going to the basket there, okay? So the defense here, that foot is protected, but the other foot is way back. This is where flexibility comes in and everything. No one seems to be able to do that and get some distance. They're all just going and stopping and pivoting. Let's see a split and we get wide. Let's go split, get to the basket, up 2 feet. You see left hand, you see a cue, just go to the other side. You see a cue, just go to the other side. You see a cue, just go to the other side. No,
The right cut out first, and then on the left side, the left cut out first. And then the right cut
So you can see your players find it difficult to split. What they're doing is just stopping, and their back foot isn't going backwards. What they're doing is the front foot's going more forwards. But that's not going to beat the defender. It's about how far your back foot goes back. Does that make sense? And it should go back towards the basket. While you're going back towards the baseline, and then you're behind the backboard.
Gavin, could I just see you do that from the rolling it out?
We're throwing it out, okay? Split!
Okay.
Yeah? And that's, but they've got to work on the flexibility and their ability to split.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the split. The other thing is, we've got to learn to score over the front. If someone takes away the backboard, we've got to learn to give it a wee baby hook over the front. We're not shooting, we're doing a baby hook, okay? So split the same way, but now we're pretending the defender is coming along the baseline trying to steal the ball. So now when we split, we're coming still to the basket, but we're spinning instead of to the backboard over the front of the basket. Yeah? So we're throwing it out, we're splitting, and up over the front of the basket. Yeah? Okay, does that make sense? See on this side, you'll be left hand on this side, you'll be splitting, and you'll bump over the front of the basket. Okay? Ready? Go. That foot's got to be over there. Then you've got to lower, wider. Get more distance than that, split distance for it. And then you can come to this up left hand, down to this side. Alright, you're completely. Yes, it's going to be there on the split, and then you get to the front of the basket. Left hand. Try and go up 2 feet, that was good. Alright, let's go. Go it out. That's a good one, that's the best yet. And then look at left hand, right on the left. Yeah, let's go.
You can have them along. In the first going forward, has been forward.
You gotta get the ball further out to get yourself in a better angle.
When you come out, it has to be like that.
Yeah.
Right?
And then you'll find out later. But it's really the back leg that has to go back.
Yeah. Whenever you're going to go, if you're going to do the corner, you're going to go towards the net or towards the baseline.
Yeah. That means your right foot coming back.
Yeah. And then to go the middle will have to be your left foot coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's completely different to the drop step.
Yeah, but faster. That's the whole thing, isn't it?
Yep.
So really, that's what you need to do now.
So you can see big difficulties with your group on the split. Okay, they can't beat people on the catch. Alright, and it's a really important part of it because that's what posting up is about. You want to be moving the girl up, catching the ball, and getting to the basket without a jump.
But it's knowing which foot
Well, it just
goes forward and
once
back.
you add in the defender, they'll be able to do it. So do you want to do that now? I'll do that now. Usually I would do it once they're good at that. I'd wait till they're good at that. But just to give you an example, so we'll go one-on-one. So you take it, you take it. When you're in defense, you're not allowed to stand behind. You must try to get a steal. Yep, does that make sense? You're not allowed to stand behind. You must try to get a steal. So, what's your name there behind? Steven, you go up top and pass me the ball. What's your name again? Dara? Daryl or Dara? Dara? So the basic rule is, if he's below you, move him further down, okay? And if he's above you, move him further up. And obviously if he's in front of you, move him further forward. If he's sit behind you, move him further backwards. But we're not allowed behind, so you're only allowed one the other way. So now notice I did push, I put my forearm up, and I moved. I got lower and strong, and we call it the fight for the armpit. Okay? The person in general who wins is the person that can get their forearm into the rib cage and push because you've got more leverage. Okay? That's what it is. So you'll see guys chopping each other, trying to get underneath the arms and hooking each other, but that's the fight for the armpit. Okay? That's the one who will win always. The one that is lower and can get up into the rib cage and move. Okay? No, because I'm moving. So I'm in my cylinder and I can just move.
You don't extend the
I
arm.
don't extend, I'm fighting for my cylinder.
So the feet are moving along with the arm.
Yeah.
It isn't
Now the
about-
referee may call it push if you push them over, and they will sometimes if you're building too much. But what you're going to have is two people fighting, and there's barely any movement. And what you're doing then is holding on. Daryl's just not fighting because he's a gentleman and wouldn't want to beat up a 45-year-old man. That's just all it is there. But realistically, it'd be two guys going at each other, constantly moving and bumping and fighting, but they really wouldn't be pushing. As soon as you extend, it would definitely be called.
The difference I would imagine is you're maintaining the same distance between you because you're moving with them, whereas any time there's separation, that's a push.
Yeah,
so even if it's a leg push,
but
well,
even
that,
the
my
referee
leg's not coming, that's going to be...
call a push if you're totally dominating and there is no extension, but in general, there rarely is barely any movement once both guys are fighting. Usually, you just want like a bit of an advantage to steal and get. Okay? So, all we're going to do is the only way you get to play offense is if you get a steal. I stay here until you get a steal. Does that make sense? But you're not allowed behind, you're only allowed in front or either side.